west of Grand Isle has suffered some of Louisiana's biggest land loss, but advocates have big dreams about reclaiming at least some of that land.
With limited resources, though, there are no guarantees it'll happen.
Right behind this dirt berm here is newly created land.
Chet Chasson might not seem like the first person who would be showing off an environmental project. Chasson runs the largest port on the Gulf of Mexico, serving oil and gas companies. But on this day, he's showcasing Port Fourchon's latest land building effort.
Part of the 1,200 acres of marsh we've created since the year 2000.
The port spent $4 million on the project, dredging material and delivering it by pipe to create instant marsh.
Every bit of sand that we can, or material that we can put on our coast in any of these locations is better than it was the day before.
There's also a practical aspect to this. The new land provides a buffer against hurricanes.
That we have to do things that are going to help provide for environmental sustainability, along with energy and economic impact.
We have seen this place change dramatically over the past couple of years.
Simone Malaz of the group Restore the Mississippi River Delta points to Hurricane Ida in 2021. It bulldozed its way up Highway 1 through Lafourche Parish, upending lives, destroying property, and tearing up marsh that may never be the same. Yet long before Ida, this area suffered some of Louisiana's most dramatic land loss.
We are at the heart of two of the most abundant estuaries right here in coastal Louisiana, but really in North America. But it is also the heart of land loss.
Just down the road, Ducks Unlimited worked with the port and other partners to install these terraces along Highway 1. It creates new land where marsh had converted to open water.
We were able to create habitat by building islands out in open water that was historically marsh. We're able to stabilize the area and stop additional loss and erosion from happening.
Cassidy Lejeune, Ducks Unlimited's Director of Conservation Programs, says they installed 80,000 linear feet of terraces. At $4.7 million, it's a bargain by coastal restoration standards, and Lejeune says it complements other projects next door.
It's really kind of eating the elephant a bite at a time. What we do alone isn't moving the needle, but when we work together with other agencies and entities and organizations, we can make a difference.
The state has spent hundreds of millions of dollars on larger projects nearby. It restored beach along the Caminada headland west of Grand Isle and rebuilt marsh behind it. The idea, in future storms, instead of disappearing, the beach will roll back onto the marsh.
You're looking at north of $500 million invested just if you look a mile this way or 2 miles that way.
The newly restored land provides a critical stopping point for migratory birds.
Billions of birds are relying on this coastal habitat in order to protect themselves against really bad weather that they sometimes hit.
Small creatures that make a long and perilous journey from Mexico or Central America across the Gulf. The Audubon Society's Eric Johnson says these slivers of land are hugely important.
Absolutely life-saving. These birds, if they don't have that land, when they're hitting that bad weather, that could be it. That's the difference between life and death for a bird.
Yet what people care most about is hurricane protection.
This is how we protect our protection. This is really the epitome of the multiple lines of defense. It starts at our shoreline. It starts at the barrier islands.
A view from space shows how, over the decades, Port Fourchon ballooned in size as it dredged canals or built new boat slips. The law requires those who change the landscape offset any harm to nature, that they mitigate for the damage.
So we've done above and beyond mitigation as well, because it's the right thing to do, and it's what we need to do to sustain our heritage, our culture, and our economic way of life.
The state's coastal master plan lays out a vision for the future that includes marsh creation projects on both sides of Bayou Lafourche. The darker green area seen here covers a footprint of 29,000 acres. Advocates concede it could probably only be built in phases.
We cannot take our foot off of the gas. We have to keep investing in coastal Louisiana.
It would not come cheap. The price tag for that project alone tops $1 billion.
The Restore the Delta group listed that project, Bell Pass to Golden Meadow Marsh Creation, as they call it, as one of its 18 priority projects. But that's the point. There are 17 other projects, and they're all competing for finite resources.